The 1984 Jefferson nickel is one of the most surprising entries in the world of valuable modern U.S. coins, often overlooked due to its high mintage but commanding market values as high as $33,000 under specific conditions. Struck at the Denver Mint and bearing the D Mint mark, this nickel is part of a series that has been in continuous production since 1938, honoring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. The obverse features Jefferson's left-facing portrait designed by Felix Schlag, while the reverse displays his famous home, Monticello, an iconic neoclassical architectural structure. In 1984, over 146 billion nickels were minted at Denver, making it one of the most common dates of the series at first glance. But as every serious numismatist knows, it's not just about quantity, but quality, strike, condition, and rarity of errors that determine a coin's true value. In the case of the $33,000 1984 Jefferson nickel, this value is typically achieved only under extreme grading conditions, particularly coins graded MS68 full steps, FS, by PCGS or NGC, meaning the steps of Monticello on the reverse are completely struck and clearly visible. The full steps designation is a rare achievement for this year because the minting quality in 1984 was inconsistent, and the dies often produced weak or mushy strikes, particularly in the fine details like the steps of Monticello. Only a tiny number of 1984 nickels survive in top condition with full steps, making them highly desirable to registry set collectors competing for the finest examples. Some of these coins have also achieved high auction results due to their pristine surfaces, booming luster, and absence of contact marks, elevating them into the $10,000 to $33,000 range, depending on auction intensity and bidder demand. What truly sets this coin apart is how common it appears, but how incredibly rare it becomes when you demand near perfection. Adding to the excitement is the fact that errors and varieties on 1984 nickels, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or clipped planchets, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars on their own when certified. However, the jackpot remains in coins that are both high-grade and well-struck. Collectors and investors alike are now paying close attention to modern Jefferson nickels as a category, with many beginning to realize that high-grade modern coins are significantly underappreciated in the market and could offer long-term growth potential. The demand for coins in MS67 and MS68 with full steps designation has soared as PCGS population reports confirm the ultra-low survival rate for these grades, especially for 1984 The coin's copper-nickel composition also contributes to the challenge, as it makes the surfaces more prone to scratches, toning, and poor strikes, meaning very few examples survive untouched and uncirculated from their original minting over 4 decades ago. Another reason for the $33,000 price tag is the growing interest in registry sets, competitive collector sets ranked by PCGS and NGC that require the highest graded coins for each year and mint mark. Because only a handful of MS68 FS 1984 nickels exist, registry set collectors are often willing to pay extreme premiums just to secure one. This supply and demand imbalance is what drives coins like this to record prices, even if they're part of a series considered common. It's important to note that most circulated 1984 nickels are still worth only face value, and even regular uncirculated examples may be worth just a few dollars unless they reach these high-end grading tiers. Therefore, having a 1984 nickel that looks flawless isn't enough. It needs to be certified by a reputable grading service and possess both high-grade and full steps. If you think you may have one of these valuable coins, it's crucial to have it examined by PCGS or NGC, the 2 leading third-party grading companies in the numismatic world. Submitting your coin for grading could turn a simple pocket find into a multi-thousand-dollar discovery. It's also essential to examine the coin under strong lighting and magnification, particularly the steps on Monticello. All 5 or 6 steps must be fully separated with no wear or blending to qualify for the full steps designation. Even a small flaw can drop the value from thousands to under $100. Many collectors and dealers recommend searching through old bankrolls, mint sets, and dealer stockpiles to find untouched examples that might have survived in better-than-average condition. Stories of collectors finding rare full steps nickels in forgotten collections or old estate lots are not uncommon. Beyond its monetary value, the 1984 Jefferson nickel is also a testament to the complexity of modern coinage, and how minor variations in strike quality can lead to huge differences in value. It teaches collectors the importance of grading, preservation, and education, showing that even the most ordinary coins can become extraordinary if preserved in the right way. As coin collecting continues to grow globally, especially through online marketplaces and auction houses, competition for high-grade modern coins like the 1984 D nickel will only increase. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced collector, this coin is a reminder to never underestimate the coins in your change jar, because you could be holding a piece of metal worth more than a new car. The rising value of coins like this is also influenced by growing investor interest in tangible assets, as more people turn to rare coins for both financial security and historical intrigue. The Jefferson nickel series itself is also gaining prestige, especially as older series like Mercury dimes and Buffalo nickels become priced out of range for newer collectors. This shift has made Jefferson nickels from the 1970s and 1980s, once considered too new to be rare, the new focus of serious coin hunters. In conclusion, the 1984 D Jefferson nickel, while born in an era of high production and seemingly low collectability, has emerged as one of the most valuable sleeper coins of the 1980s. Under the right conditions, brilliant uncirculated preservation, strong strike, and certified full steps, it transforms from a 5-cent piece into a $33,000 numismatic treasure. It is coins like these that keep the thrill of coin collecting alive, reminding all collectors that treasure can still be found in plain sight. And sometimes, a tiny piece of metal can hold a history and a value that stuns even the most experienced numismatist. Next up, the 1981 D Washington quarter dollar may appear like an ordinary piece of change to most people, but to experienced numismatists and dedicated collectors, this coin carries the potential for astonishing value, in some rare cases reaching a market worth of $13,000 or more, especially in top-grade condition with full strike details or exhibiting exceptional mint errors. Struck at the Denver Mint and bearing the D mint mark, the 1981 D quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of the United States' first president, George Washington. The obverse of the coin features Washington's bust designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse continues the traditional heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch. Although more than 575 million 1981 D quarters were minted, making it one of the more abundant issues in terms of raw numbers, the true value lies in rarity of condition, strike precision, and unique error characteristics. The overwhelming majority of these coins entered circulation, where they were subject to wear, damage, and loss of detail, making pristine examples extremely scarce. A 1981 D quarter, graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, especially one with strong strike quality and no contact marks, is a top-tier rarity, and collectors building registry sets are often willing to pay top dollar to secure these finest known specimens. One of the major contributors to a high market value like $13,000 is the full strike designation combined with high mint state grading, as most quarters from this year exhibit soft or uneven strikes. The few that escaped with bold, complete detail on both sides, especially with sharp eagle feathers and crisp hairlines on Washington's bust, are in exceptionally high demand. Furthermore, the U.S. Mint's quality control in the early 1980s was far from perfect, which opens the door to a range of valuable minting errors, some of which are extremely scarce and highly desirable. Known errors on the 1981 D quarter include off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, and even transitional planchet errors, where the coin was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for a different year or denomination. In particular, quarters struck off-center, yet still showing the date and mint mark can bring thousands at auction, and when combined with high-grade surfaces, the value multiplies dramatically. Among the most valuable examples are coins graded MS67 or above with zero visible flaws, strong luster, and perfect eye appeal, which are extremely difficult to find in a coin that was mass-produced and heavily circulated. The grading services PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, have only certified a tiny handful of MS67 plus 1981 D quarters, which creates a bottleneck in supply for collectors trying to complete top-pop registry sets. These elite collectors, often competing for the highest graded coins for display and long-term investment, push auction prices up dramatically, sometimes exceeding $10,000 to $13,000, especially when there are fewer than 5 known coins at that grade level. In recent years, several high-end 1981D quarters in MS67 condition have sold for over $5,000 to $13,000, depending on eye appeal and certification pedigree. Adding to the value potential is the fact that many 1981D quarters have acquired natural toning from decades of storage in envelopes or coin rolls, and attractive rainbow or target toning patterns can add thousands to a coin's market value, especially when certified as original and market acceptable by leading grading services. Another major factor in high valuation is collector demand for transitional years. The early 1980s were a time of subtle changes in planche production, minting standards, and design detail across U.S. coinage. That makes certain years like 1981 especially appealing to specialists who track these changes and catalog ultrafine varieties. The metal composition of the 1981D quarter is standard clad, copper-nickel outer layers bonded to a pure copper core, and its weight is 5.67 grams with a 24.3 mm diameter. But what separates a 0.25 coin from a $13,000 coin is preservation, perfection, and provenance. Coins that come from original mint sets, untouched storage rolls, or government-sealed proof and mint set packaging tend to survive better. Although even then, the chances of pulling an MS67 Plus are incredibly slim. Most coins, even from sealed sets, top out at MS65 due to small contact marks, dull luster, or minor abrasions that occur during the minting process. For collectors and investors hoping to discover one of these hidden gems, it is crucial to examine the coin under high magnification, paying close attention to the fields, devices, and rim edges, ensuring there are no hairlines, contact marks, or dull patches that would limit the grade. Even a single scratch or a weak strike will cause the coin to fall short of the ultra-rare top-tier grading threshold. As the market for modern U.S. coinage has exploded in recent years, thanks to online platforms, YouTube education, and auction houses showcasing registry-worthy coins, demand for high-end quarters like the 1981D has soared. This modern coin boom means that many collectors are now looking beyond older, rarer pre-1964 silver issues and seeking perfection in unexpected places, such as clad coinage from the 1980s and 1990s. Some experts even argue that modern clad quarters and ultra-high grades are far rarer than most pre-1965 silver coins, despite being newer, because they were so heavily circulated and never saved in pristine condition. This rarity paradox has made coins like the 1981D Washington quarter in MS67 or MS68 some of the most undervalued yet promising areas in the modern numismatic market. For those serious about chasing this coin's top value, professional submission to PCGS or NGC is critical. Raw coins, even if flawless to the naked eye, cannot achieve market prices of $13,000 without proper authentication and encapsulation. Additionally, collectors should monitor auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, and Great Collections, where record-breaking modern coin sales often happen, fueled by competitive registry set building and aggressive modern-era collecting trends. In conclusion, the 1981D quarter dollar may look like any other change in your pocket, but under the right circumstances, perfect strike, flawless surfaces, ultra-high grade, or a dramatic mint error, it becomes a coin of enormous value, prestige, and investment potential. It reminds all collectors that treasures still hide in modern coinage, and that even a 25-cent piece from 1981 can transform into a $13,000 numismatic prize when preserved and graded at the highest possible level. Whether you're a seasoned coin expert or just starting your collecting journey, keeping an eye out for this rare gem might just reward you in a way you never imagined. Next up, the 1982D Washington quarter dollar, bearing the Denver Mint mark, might at first seem like just another common coin from the early 1980s. But this seemingly ordinary clad coin holds the potential to be worth up to $45,000 in the collector's market under the right conditions. The story of this coin is one of paradox. A mass-produced piece with over 480 million units struck, yet in pristine condition, and especially with certain rare error types or elite designations like full strike or top pop mint, state grades, it becomes a highly desirable and valuable numismatic treasure. To understand why this particular quarter could fetch such a staggering value, we must look at several key elements. its historical context, its physical features, rarity and high grades, error potential, and modern market dynamics. First, the Washington Quarter Series, introduced in 1932, has long been one of the staples of U.S. coinage. The obverse features the profile of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan, and the reverse showcases a heraldic eagle, with spread wings above a bundle of arrows and olive branches. The 1982 quarters continued this long-standing design until the series transitioned to state and commemorative quarters in later decades. However, 1982 was a turbulent year for the U.S. Mint, plagued by budget cuts, rising inflation, and metal costs. The Mint took drastic cost-saving measures, including the decision to stop producing uncirculated mint sets for collectors. This seemingly minor change had major consequences. Without mint sets preserving fresh examples, most 1982 D quarters immediately entered circulation, drastically reducing the survival rate of mint state, MS65 and above examples. As a result, high-grade 1982 D quarters are extremely rare, and that rarity translates directly into collector value. The lack of mint sets in 1982, combined with average or even subpar strike quality typical of the era, means that finding a 1982 D quarter with bold details, clean surfaces, and brilliant luster is a near impossible task. Coins graded by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, at MS67 or higher are incredibly scarce, and when they do appear at auction, they can fetch tens of thousands of dollars, especially if they are the highest graded top pop in the population reports. As of today, only a tiny handful of MS67 plus 1982 D quarters exist, and these coins have generated intense bidding wars among registry set collectors who compete to own the finest examples for each date and mint mark. The $45,000 valuation isn't for just any 1982 D quarter. It's reserved for the absolute best. Coins that exhibit perfect centering, a full and even strike with sharply defined details, no contact marks under magnification, and possibly even attractive natural toning that enhances eye appeal. Some high-value examples also feature full strike, FS, or full drum details, referring to visible feather detail on the eagle, and uninterrupted rim details, which are rarely seen on Denver Mint. Strikes from this period. Furthermore, minting errors on 1982 D quarters can dramatically increase their value. Notable errors include double die obverses or reverses, DDO, DDR, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and struck-through debris. One of the most legendary and valuable varieties related to this year is the 1982 D no mint mark transitional error, though more common on Philadelphia struck coins. Still, collectors are always searching for transitional planchet errors. Quarters mistakenly struck on planchets meant for other denominations or older compositions, and when found, such coins can easily command five-figure prices depending on their certification. The composition of the 1982 D quarter follows the standard clad formula: a copper core bonded with outer layers of copper nickel, giving the coin its silvery appearance while maintaining cost efficiency. It weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 m in diameter, and features a reeded edge. While these dimensions are standard, it's the condition and context that elevate specific examples into the high-value realm. It's important to note that while circulated 1982 D quarters are still very common, they are generally worth only face value or a modest premium. The true value lies in coins that have survived untouched, often hidden in forgotten rolls, sealed bank bags, or bulk hoards that escaped the wear and tear of daily commerce. Numismatists recommend looking at coins with a high-quality strike, no signs of post-mint damage, and possible indicators of being struck early in the die life cycle, which results in stronger, cleaner details. The absence of uncirculated mint sets in 1982 makes cherry-picking these examples an exciting challenge for collectors and treasure hunters. The best way to determine whether a 1982 D quarter has high value is by submitting it to a professional grading service, particularly PCGS or NGC. Coins certified by these entities carry significant weight in the numismatic community and are the only examples that can bring $10,000 to $45,000 in auctions. It's worth noting that modern coin collectors, particularly those who build PCGS set registry collections, are willing to pay astronomical prices for top pop examples, those with the highest known grades. In recent years, the trend of modern coin investment has exploded, with even non-numismatists entering the market, seeking tangible and historical assets to diversify their portfolios. This influx of demand, paired with low population numbers for 1982 D quarters in ultra-high grades, has created a perfect storm for skyrocketing prices. Furthermore, the early 1980s marked a turning point in U.S. coinage, as the mint began modernizing production, but still grappled with inconsistent quality control, resulting in more chances for minor but valuable errors to slip through the cracks. In terms of provenance, many of the top-graded 1982 D quarters that have appeared at auction originated from bulk dealer hoards, estate finds, or forgotten coin rolls that were stored in dry, temperature-stable conditions. Coins kept away from air, humidity, and physical abrasion have a higher chance of retaining their luster and sharp strike details, two of the most important attributes in top-tier grading. In conclusion, the 1982 D quarter dollar is one of those rare cases in numismatics where a coin with a massive mintage becomes a high-dollar collectible, not because of how few were made, but because of how few were preserved. Whether due to the lack of mint sets, rough handling at the mint, or the quick introduction into circulation, surviving examples in mint state 67 or higher are virtually non-existent, and that's precisely what gives them their extraordinary market value. If you happen to come across a bright, uncirculated 1982 D quarter with sharp details and minimal flaws, it's worth having it professionally graded. It could very well be one of the next $45,000 discoveries hiding in plain sight. Coins like the 1982 D remind us that numismatic treasure isn't limited to ancient silver or pre-1900 rarities. Sometimes a simple clad quarter from your pocket change has the potential to be a life-changing windfall. Keep hunting. Stay informed, and never underestimate the power of a small coin to tell a big story and deliver a big reward. Next up, the 1988 D Washington quarter dollar may seem like an ordinary piece of change, but in the world of numismatics, this unassuming coin has a hidden side. One that can reach a staggering market value of $55,000 when found in exceptionally rare conditions or with highly unusual mint errors. This coin was minted at the Denver Mint, as signified by the D mint mark, and was part of the long-running Washington Quarter series that began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse features a bold portrait of Washington facing left, while the reverse displays a heraldic eagle with spread wings clutching arrows and olive branches, a symbol of America's strength and peace. Although the total mintage for the 1988 D quarter was over 596 million coins, making it common in general circulation, what elevates this coin into the elite upper echelon of value is its rarity in pristine condition, combined with specific mint errors, ultra-high grading, or registry quality specimens certified by PCGS or NGC. The majority of 1988 D quarters were rapidly circulated, leading to contact marks, scratches, wear, and loss of luster. As a result, finding a mint state, MS, 67 or higher specimen is incredibly difficult. Collectors pursuing registry sets, where only the finest known examples are accepted, often drive up prices for these elusive high-grade coins, especially if they are designated top pop, highest grade known. For a coin from this date and mint to reach values like $55,000, it must meet a combination of strict conditions. It must be perfectly struck, fully lustrous, free from blemishes, and graded MS68 or better, which is virtually unheard of. So far, only a microscopic number of such coins have ever been graded at this level by professional grading companies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These coins are prized rarities, highly sought after by advanced collectors who compete for the very best. Even more exciting are the mint errors associated with the 1988 D quarter, which can increase its value exponentially. Some coins have been discovered with off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is cut off, broad strikes, where the coin is struck without a retaining collar and expands unnaturally, or even double die obverses or reverses, where the design appears duplicated due to misalignment in the die process. A well-preserved 1988 D quarter with any of these rare errors, especially if combined with a high grade, can demand prices between $10,000 and $55,000 or more, depending on the era's visibility, rarity, and market demand. The coin's composition also plays a role in its collectability. It consists of a copper-nickel-clad outer layer of copper-nickel bonded to an inner core of pure copper, weighs approximately 5.67 grams, and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeter. Although this isn't precious metal, collectors aren't focused on bullion value here. Instead, what matters is the condition, rarity, and the historical moment it represents. The 1980s were a transitional era in minting quality, and coins from this decade were not always struck with consistent sharpness. As a result, fully struck, sharply detailed examples of the 1988 D quarter are rare, particularly those showing crisp feather detail on the eagle, defined hairlines on Washington, and complete rim beading. Adding to the intrigue is the fact that many coin dealers and collectors overlooked this issue for decades, assuming its mass mintage made it irrelevant. But with the rise of registry sets and modern coin collecting's obsession with perfection, the 1988 D quarter has seen a renaissance of interest, particularly among collectors who aim to own the finest possible coin for each date mint combination. When a coin is discovered that grades MS67 Plus or MS68, it instantly becomes the centerpiece of a collection, and often breaks records at auction. In recent years, examples of 1988 D quarters in high mint state grades have commanded premium prices, with ultra-high-grade examples predicted to climb even higher due to limited availability. What further drives the price up to $55,000 or beyond is the phenomenon of natural toning. Coins stored in specific environments over decades, such as old bankrolls, cloth bags, or envelopes, may develop rainbow or golden blue toning, which, when combined with flawless surfaces, makes the coin a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Collectors are often willing to pay a significant premium for such pieces, especially if the toning enhances eye appeal and has been confirmed as natural by grading companies. The market demand for these top-tier coins is fueled by a mix of factors: scarcity, certification, visual beauty, and competition among wealthy collectors. The registry set competition has turned coins like the 1988 D quarter into trophy pieces, similar to vintage sports cards or rare stamps. It's not unusual for wealthy investors and coin enthusiasts to bid aggressively at major auction houses, like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections, where prices for clad modern coins have consistently exceeded expectations. Finding such a valuable coin requires a mix of knowledge, luck, and persistence. Most 1988 D quarters, even those that look good to the naked eye, are not worth more than face value unless they meet very specific criteria. Coin roll hunting, inherited coin collections, or sealed bank boxes offer some chance of discovering a gem. But to truly realize the full value, the coin must be certified by PCGS or NGC, with a clear label showing a grade of MS67 or above, and possibly including designations like full strike, top pop, or error classification. In conclusion, while the 1988 D Washington quarter is a common coin in circulation, its rarest forms are far from ordinary. A perfect storm of mintage size, lack of original mint set preservation, inconsistent strike quality, and collector demand has created a unique market niche for this year and mint mark. If you happen to possess a flawless, uncirculated 1988 D quarter with exceptional characteristics or dramatic mint errors, it may be worth thousands or even $55,000 under the right market conditions. In the end, this coin proves that modern numismatics is not just about silver or gold, but about scarcity, condition, history, and collector passion. With proper grading and verification, this unassuming Denver minted quarter could be your next big discovery. A hidden fortune in plain sight, tucked in a drawer, roll, or jar waiting to be recognized for what it truly is: a rare American treasure.